Good. What's this?
The agenda.
So welcome everyone to the January 9th meeting of Community Services Advisory Board. There are not too many of us here. I will try to take minutes in Emily's absence. So just for the benefit of those, you want to start, Amanda, and just say your name and you're here.
Amanda Doherty, present.
Roger Shabbat, present.
Art Dillon.
And Trish Brigham. Okay, and Nicole, you are here.
Nicole Hall,
Okay.
Community Services.
I think we've got a quorum. Emily had sent the minutes for the previous two
Mhm.
meetings. Did anyone have any, I guess we should start with September and do them one at a time.
Move to approve September's meeting minutes.
Second,
All right, thank you, Art and Roger. Any comments? I did not receive any comments from the other,
No.
when I had sent them out. Does anybody have any comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Extent that maybe allowed to vote, right?
Yeah, it was-
There you go.
yeah, that.
Is that okay? It's
Yeah.
Okay. September minutes approved, and November minutes.
Move to accept November minutes as presented.
Second?
Yep.
Thank you. All those in favor? I should say any comments, which I did not receive. Did anyone have any comments or edits? Okay. Okay, so September and November minutes were approved. Okay?
Yep.
Do we have anyone online from the public? Okay, so no.
No, we don't.
Okay, I had hoped to introduce our new member Daryl, but he is not here. And he sent his apologies, so I guess we will table that. I'm also thinking we should wait on the election of new officers.
Has
so
anyone articulated?
no one has expressed any interest to me. I don't know if anyone else has, or if anyone is interested, so I would say you're stuck with me for another month or two. So-
Move to table.
Okay. Okay, Nicole, update on the community, well, introduce yourself first
Sure.
officially, and we appreciate all the work that you've done and the communications you've done in the interim. And if you
Sure.
want to give us a little bit of an update.
Yes, thank you for bearing with me too, 'cause there's lots I
Well, you got stuck
was
with that. too,
unaware
so
of, yes.
thank you for doing that.
So Nicole Hall, I actually have been with Community Services since forever. So I started with Community Services in 2002, part-time working in summer camp and childcare. And moved to full-time in 2007, so I've been here forever. My current function, besides being interim director, is the operations and events manager. So I oversee a lot of the special events and making sure things run smoothly here, so. But as far as updates for the search for a new director, we have finished that process. It was a really extensive process. There were several rounds where we narrowed it down to 2 candidates, and then we did another round of interviews, and they were able to meet with all of the staff and kind of get the informal questions as well. And we did make an offer to one, and he accepted, and as of today, I've been notified that it is public because he announced it at the meeting yesterday in Portland, and so Nick Cleash from Portland will be joining us. Projected start date of February 3rd, so
what is it? Thing?
Nick Cleash.
Could you possibly spell it for the
Yep.
purposes of the minute?
Yep, it's kind of like cliche without
Okay,
the.
okay. And he is currently working for Community Services in Portland?
Yep, so he's in the Parks and Rec Department in Portland, and his current role there is Recreation Director.
Oh, good.
So when will he be starting?
The projected start date is February 3rd,
Mhm.
so relatively quick.
Yeah.
Is he a younger,
Yeah.
older, age-wise?
What?
I guess you can't speak to say
That,
Um,
my age?
Okay,
So young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So
We're excited.
thank
Good.
you, I guess. As a board, we'd like to officially thank everyone who was involved, Art and all the staff who were involved in the process. So please communicate our thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Very
so
good.
that's great. So, school site committee. Will anyone else have any other questions on that agenda item or topic? School site committee, Karen, as I said, had texted me on this update, had apologized for not being here. She said a couple things. Just, and I'm reading this for you guys, just saw potential building plans for the 4 options that came out of the school building ad hoc committee, plus 3 additional options that Harriman crafted. I think Harriman is a consulting firm.
Mhm.
It was like drinking from a hydrant. So no committee response as of yet, just the presentation. A mini version of the presentation will be given to us at the joint workshop on Thursday. I don't know when that is. I'm assuming, I don't know if that was today or next week. Site selection committee is looking at 22 sites.
Oh, wow.
Wow. We are probably just now reaching a point where we could talk about synergies with a community center, but even still with 7 options on the table, it is a lot.
Yeah,
So I'd say she's aware of our interest, but I would say at this point, there's no particular action that we should take. Does anyone else have any other comments that have been involved in these processes before? Art, Roger, you guys have been
No,
involved.
it's,
You mean to say they're still looking at 22 sites?
I'm just,
presumably different ones than last.
Yeah.
yeah,
My goodness
well, they
gracious.
looked at almost that many last time too, so. it's-
Okay, now, have they decided or are they gonna bring it up to the public as to the 3 options that they're looking at? Now,
I
what are they?
should say, but are you so?
There's a survey supposed to be coming out to the
Okay.
public
All right,
soonish.
As
And
to-
they were going to present the 4 concepts, options. And get input from there and try to whittle it down to 1.
Mhm.
All by June. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for a November election.
Right.
Yeah. Or a ballot. So, yeah,
And other than Karen, do we have anyone that's going to those meetings? I know like the,
Todd was going.
I think he was holding off on going until there was more details where he felt like he needed to make sure that if there was the opportunity to tie in a community center, that he would be there for that conversation,
Yeah.
so.
So that's a good question. Is that something that will be on the plate of Nick once he gets up and running?
We foresee that, yeah.
I just want to make sure we know when our voice, I won't say should be heard, but when we want it to be heard. Just in order for that collaboration, at least to be considered.
Well, I think we need, once he gets here, we need to talk of what we've talked about for the
Right.
last
Right.
several months as to what our thoughts are.
Yep.
So that he knows how the committee feels.
Certainly.
I mean, he may have his own thoughts, but I think Karen sees the same, is that if the piece of property is big enough, then we're saying,
I think that's gonna. be
let's
a
tie
bulk
in
of
with
ours.
them so that
Yeah, I think that's.
then, and I don't wanna start the meeting here, but then you hear, I read somewheres that the if the community services would be wanted to put the pool in, that maybe that could come in at the same time, and I think that's at least a start.
I think it would probably help support. Excuse me, for the school, depending
Yeah.
on the site.
And this building here is costing the town some money. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's, you know, it's something that could be used very nicely over there to take care of that, but anyway. We're a long way away.
Yeah. The other thing that she had updated on, was beach fees, which is on the town council, and I'm sure you've heard on the town council, I think there's a workshop on February 5th. There's been a lot of advertising about the beach fee changes, so we will definitely need some help at the meeting to explain and justify why we want $20 for all day. I think the biggest pushback I'm seeing is the early morning walkers and dog people who don't want to pay $20. We kind of addressed that.
For non-residents though, right? Like, is that where the local piece is coming from? is
That's actually a
non-residents?
good
It-
question.
it-
That is,
Yeah, from what I saw, it was a mix.
Okay. Of people that don't get beach passes.
Yes.
And just wanna go in the morning. for
Yeah,
free.
I saw a couple comment, I only go 3 times a year. And she was complaining about it. And I was like,
I forget what time did we set it? We said 6 to 6?
5:30.
5:30 to
5:30 to 5:30, and that was for staff purposes.
Yes.
Right,
I know I think there was something posted, it must have been maybe on the Facebook page for the town. That referenced that the beach fees were going to be on this meeting and I made the error of reading the comments. And that's why I wanted to clarify because a lot of them did seem to be folks that live in like Cape Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That talk about, well, yes, I live in Cape, but I'm only like this far away and this, and that seemed to be a lot of what the social media comments were, but.
That she did say, and she goes on to say, so, okay, so. I'm planning to go to the meeting on the 5th, and it would be great if anybody else wants to
To do
go,
what?
to attend the meeting on February 5th. Karen has asked
Oh.
that someone be there to address these. So. I mean, the reason why we're doing the $20 is primarily for staffing ease and administration, correct? The
Mhm.
12-hour.
so I did watch back on the meetings, because I was also told by Tom and Liam to possibly be prepared to
Yeah,
have a statement as to like why, what is the purposes, and I guess what I took from it was like, first and foremost, it's about equity, that we're trying to have a level playing field, right? And not that we're giving preference to residents, but they are the taxpayers, so, we're constantly hearing complaints that even our residents can't find spots at the beaches. So it's, again, just trying to find that
which
level
that was
playing
another
field.
thing. However, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I don't think at 5:30 in the morning, that's the issue. There's
Right.
probably someone going at 5:30 in the morning who wants to walk their dog and does not want to pay $20
Correct,
to walk their
that
dog.
was the
which I-
opposite side
which I
of the coin,
kind of-
right? Yeah.
I kind of understand, right? Like I don't want to pay $20 to go out and walk my dog. I don't know,
but I also thought we evaluated
The surfing.
surrounding areas.
and we
We
did,
did. Yeah,
And
extensively.
we were still low.
yep.
Um,
I think we might be the earliest at 5:30 AM.
maybe.
That's the
Well,
only, I
Yeah.
think,
I'll
And we
tell you
did that
this,
more for just consistency.
and
safety.
surfers,
yeah,
who sometimes would come at 5:30 and stay.
that's
And
absolutely
it's the
right. I
beach
mean,
fund, it's not tax.
what you see at Higgins living there and going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. There's an awful lot of people going in there. Now, your mother lives at Higgins,
Yeah.
so you probably have an idea of what's going on.
Mhm.
To me, I have no qualm with the locals, cause they can pay $40 and go there and use it at any time.
Yes.
The out of town is what you say, well, we paid our taxes and, I'm sorry, but they don't do anything for us. But they don't have anything that we go, and when we wanna use their swimming pool,
Hey,
Well,
Yeah,
and if you do,
yeah,
I mean,
we
just,
gotta pay, or they say we don't want the kids over there, cause we've got our own kids, and that's understandable too.
well, if you just do the simple math, if you're a person that regularly goes,
Yeah.
then you can get a
Bike
non-resident
pass.
beach pass.
Right.
That's
And
absolutely
if you
right.
do the math, you
Yeah.
pay for it
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
I think the people that don't like it are the early morning ones that maybe go once a month.
Yeah.
And that is too bad.
Yeah, that is.
It certainly is, but we can't,
Well, they can get
please.
there earlier than that and park for $1 for an hour. They're probably
$5.29?
the-
Right, exactly. For no cost, really. If they go
Yeah.
in 5:15,
Yeah,
there's
because-
free.
right?
Absolutely. Well, I'm talking about the sidewalk parking.
Well, yes,
In front, I
exactly.
mean, you can either go there and pay $1 for $1, which is something that needs to.
and then the second thing I kind of took, like, if I had to categorize it, the second thing I took away from it is it really cuts down on confusion for everybody, right?
Right.
Like,
Something
none of
to
these like,
accomplish.
oh, like, what time is it? What fee is it? It's like, it's
Yeah.
just a flat fee.
You don't need a
Flat fee,
flow chart to figure it out, right? Yeah.
Yes, I can't tell you how many times we've remade signs and,
Right.
What I
and signs are hard.
got from some of the comments too, was that a lot of people don't understand what goes into maintaining the
Yeah.
beach.
Mhm.
You know, one
Mhm.
person, well, if you upgraded the showers, the stalls, which is part of
Right,
the
Which we will
plan.
be.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's an ongoing thing, but the beach needs to be raked how many times a week?
Yeah.
Couple times?
Several
Well,
times, yeah.
Yeah.
it's volunteers that do it, and the town goes over there at 7 o'clock in the morning with a couple of 3 people, and they pick it up.
But that has
But
to
the
be
other beaches, yes,
Yes,
are
yeah.
raked.
raked, they gotta be
Yeah.
hauled away, there's a
The,
cost
the
associated
one
with
at
all that.
Pine Point with I can't remember the smell, they have to do it maybe 2, 3, 4 times a
Yeah.
week, I don't know exactly, because I'm not there. We only do it once,
Yeah.
and there's an awful lot of people that say we shouldn't even be taking that stuff off the beach.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's,
Because you look at it in the wintertime, I've seen it 3, 4 times this winter, covered from low tide to high tide, and next day it's all gone, so.
So I'm hearing the few things we wanna say, it's simplicity, staffing.
Yeah.
Beach maintenance.
Yeah.
And the cost involved. The other thing that sort of ties into this, and one thing I remember Tom Hall forwarded that email from that person in Cape Elizabeth. I am going to look, I can't connect to the internet now for whatever reason, but I'm curious to know when parking fees begin to be assessed at Fort Williams.
Oh,
Like time.
That would be, yes, time wise, that would be a comparative.
Mm.
Well, you're charging us to pay. I mean, so, okay, and the other thing that Karen mentioned, I've seen some comments that people think we should have fewer passes for out of towners and charge them more. I somewhat agree. Residents are saying that they get to the beach and the parking lot is full. We discussed that too.
well, we
We leveled it
lowered
this year,
tiny bit.
yeah.
And
From
raise
what
the,
this year and raised
We
the
did
fee.
raise
it seems
we-
like you were just trying to come up with a change that
It's a
wasn't
benchmark.
so drastic,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes,
and if it gets to the point where the locals complain that there's not, can we cut back on then we can do that and bring it back to 300 or,
right,
but there's never been a number until this year, right? Am I
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
So we
Correct.
put a cap to it,
yeah,
so.
it was slightly below what we sold this year. It's a benchmark.
That's right.
It's
And it
That's
was
right.
a little bit higher. We didn't go,
for the
Hog
price, right?
Yeah.
The price, yeah,
price went up a bit. And that was also a concern that we wanted to share a little bit of, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we're feeling still comfortable as a committee. They can overrule us, but we feel
Absolutely.
pretty well grounded in
The-
what our recommendations
The
are.
council can do what
Yes,
they
I was
want.
just gonna say, they
Yeah.
can do what they want, but
Okay,
the fees for it's not a game warden,
Animal
park
control?
ranger,
Oh, the park ranger, yeah.
where does any of that come from beach fees?
oh, that's a good point.
mean
It should be, I think.
Paying the payment of park rangers. I mean, it's in the beach line,
Park
but I
rate,
think that's budgeted. I don't
Okay.
think it is directly coming
Yeah.
from like the beach reserve account. 'Cause that
right,
really goes towards the improvements.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if.
Yeah, I was,
That could
yeah,
help support,
yeah,
because that's part of the responsibilities, is being on the beach and
Yeah.
educating people and
yeah,
being a deterrent.
Yeah.
For some things.
I just looked on their website and it's not super user friendly.
Yeah.
But it says you must pay to park May 1st to November 1st. Parking fees are $2 an hour, full day is 10, season pass is 25. And then it says metered parking is 8 to 5 daily. But I don't know what time.
so
like,
that's
they open the
probably
gates.
they open it, it's dusk to, it's
Dawn
dawn
to dusk,
to
right.
dusk.
Okay, yeah.
So dawn is 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the
So
summer.
that says to me that you don't have to pay, because it's all metered parking, so that
Correct.
says you don't have to pay until 8 AM.
Yeah.
But it's metered parking, That's
Yes.
different. We've
It's
got a
different than town
staff.
parking,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It does have the trash thing like we have now, that you're supposed to take it with you.
You're talking Cape,
yeah, I was
That-
just
she
trying
asked
to
about
put
Fort
basis
Williams,
of
so I looked it up,
comparison
yeah,
for Fort
yeah,
Williams,
yeah.
which is a whole brouhaha.
Yeah.
Right, but we
We
have the
live there.
spreadsheet from all the different.
We do, and
towns
we're
and
still
stuff,
lower.
so We are,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, we
Okay.
even had a discussion about being higher and ultimately decided not to be, so.
Yeah. Well, it does sound like it's people from our town that are.
Yeah.
Complaining, and we know that.
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, so that's the update on the liaison. Do we? I'm thinking that we want to table goals until we have Nick here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, the only other, does anyone have any other questions or concerns or issues that they want to raise?
oh, what's going on at Hyde Park, Bird Park, I'm sorry. Are the bathrooms going in this year, or is it still gonna be portable?
Don't think the bathrooms was a project that's taking place this year. They put in the gate system. And that certain things are happening in the spring, like they're sealing and restriping. There is a different flow to the lot,
Yep,
I guess.
Yes.
And they are putting in some sort of like curbing so that there were safety concerns this last year about where the ticket booth was located and how people were like exiting the beach and walking through where cars were coming through. So they are amending that. I don't believe the bathhouse, I think that one has been pushed.
I think I vaguely recall Todd saying that the
Yeah.
last time. we talked
But
about
that's definitely one of the things that
know.
we need to have done over there.
Yeah. I recall one of the things that wasn't on the agenda, but we got at the last minute was the open space. Report, so
I
that's
read
open
that,
for
yeah.
comment. I don't know if anyone had any comments they
Yeah.
wanted to share or just,
I didn't get a chance to read.
yeah, I would just remind people, that if they want to review that, to share, right? I think that was what, um. Okay. Okay, so the last point is, meeting schedule, and a couple of people, myself included, were wondering, is Thursday the best night for everybody?
We've done this a couple times and it turned out to be, but not that
Yes.
it can't change.
I
It was
do.
more the cadence of, is it the second Thursday versus the third? And I know we
Right.
had switched it at some point a year or so ago, but I agree. I mean, I'm not coming on a Friday night.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, like, for example, Thursdays aren't super great for me, but I can make them work, but Alex has missed a few and Thursdays do not work for him
Mhm.
because of Portland meetings and I don't know.
Maybe you could send out or have Emily do a,
Like a
Survey.
doodle
Doodle-
poll or
doodle
something.
poll.
yeah. See, because there are other town meetings to consider
I
as
know,
well.
I know.
That's-
I think we switched to Thursday for Karen. Honestly, my
Yes.
very first meeting, they
thought
were
we
on
were
a
Thursday.
Tuesday,
I
it was a
think so.
different night of the week.
Yeah.
And we switched to Thursday to accommodate her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Thursday when I started because I remember that was one of the reasons I could do this was
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
You have
Minus
stuff
the
on
part,
others.
well, minus the part where my mother is injured like she is right now. That's when they have their dates with Joseph, so I just typically try and not have
Nice,
things on
then you don't have to worry
Thursdays.
about it.
So 9 times out of 10, I don't have to worry about it, but is the issue the time, like, I mean, 6 o'clock works for me, but is it like if it was 6:30, would it be
I
easier
think
for
he
folks?
said
or-
his meeting wrapped up at 6:30 in Portland, so he
Mm.
could potentially come. I mean, I think we moved it to 6 because we would go running over.
Right.
And nobody wants to be here till 9 o'clock at night.
No.
Yeah, I don't wanna start later than 6, that's.
Yeah.
Could you start at 6:30?
I-
If we still vowed to be out by 8 PM?
I'd prefer not to because I don't wanna stay at work until 6:30.
Oh,
All right, I may
If I
have,
go home, I'm gonna,
get too comfortable.
yeah,
Don't sit down.
There's a
So
reason.
That's why I
Joseph
stay at
picked
work.
I know,
our
right?
date From soccer, if I go home, get out of
you
my
saying
fuzzy
you won't,
blanket or
I
something.
know.
I mean, I would 3 minutes away, but.
So if, is it worth, um, doing a doodle poll on the best night of the week, either Monday through Thursday?
Could we maybe keep the one in March and then when Nick is here, also
Yes.
find out maybe
Yeah.
what works
Mhm.
for him?
Yeah.
Maybe that's,
Yeah, I wouldn't advocate changing the next meeting, because we
Yeah.
don't have enough people here to
Yeah.
make that decision.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the next
but
meeting
then-
will definitely be March 13th.
Yeah.
Mhm. Then, by the way, I'll be watching.
That's fine. So you could still fill out a,
I'll dub in if I have to, yeah.
I think it would probably still be good to send out the doodle poll just to check.
Mhm.
So the next meeting will be March 13th.
Yeah.
And I would think it will be probably consumed with meeting Nick. Sharing, so like Roger, you had said, like what our thoughts are on what some of our work is done and sort of goal setting and the school building committee and just sort of other. So if people want to come sort of,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe we should do a laundry list of what some of those are, just to kind of get organized to
Do we-
provide to him.
we must have in our Google Drive somewhere, I'm sure I could look for it, that. I think it was like a 2 or 3 page
Yes.
document that had our goals. It's like right now,
Yeah.
3-year plan, 5-year
Yeah.
plan, whatever. I think that
That
would,
should be revised.
that's what we should review that,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can read, that can be would be the
Cause if he
agenda.
starts February 3rd, maybe we
Right.
could make sure he has that.
Yep,
So that getting the input on where we're at,
and that will be our discussion guide
yeah,
for that night.
cause we spent some.
That's on the
lot of
13th,
time.
that's the second Tuesday, right?
Thursday.
Thursday, I mean, second Thursday, not the first. This one's the first, I was kind of surprised at that.
Technically, this is the second Thursday because January 2nd was Thursday.
Yeah.
So this technically
You're
is
right,
the
you're
second
right,
one.
you're right.
Only remember because that was when he went back to school.
I don't remember the first.
I'm
Not
more than
because
a
I
little
was
attached to
sick.
my calendar.
Okay, so the next meeting will be 6 PM on March 13th. We
Yeah.
will meet and review our goals at that point in time.
Yeah.
Any other,
And we go through the
And the
gauntlet.
community center really falls into that since that's one of the goals that
Exactly.
we had, so it all
Yeah.
dovetail nicely, I think.
Will
any,
all your tabled things go onto that one too?
oh, yeah, we will have to do election of new officers. Introduction of new members, that's short, and we,
If the agenda can go out maybe a few days in advance, then that way we can kind of all come prepared to be very like efficient
Yeah.
in the conversation.
I'm surprised that Emily's not here. She was catching up and seemed to be on top of things.
Well, and we had changed what Thursday we were meeting for her schedule, because we were meeting, what was it, like the 3rd or 4th? And I remember we switched it to the second Thursday to accommodate some of hers, so I hope
I
everything's
hope it's
okay.
everything okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, because
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
pretty
think the talk, why we went second Tuesday is to follow the town meeting if there's something that
That's
would be
probably-
fresher on our mind.
okay. So given that Nick will start beforehand, I'm guessing there'll be some transition period where we will CC you or address to you when you
Yeah,
share.
I
the
envision
December
I will
meeting.
probably be at the next meeting as well,
Perfect,
so,
okay.
yeah.
All right, any other comments, concerns, issues that we need to discuss?
I just had a question, and I'm sorry if I should know this. What time is the town meeting, but the
On
beach
the
fees?
5th?
I don't have anything in my calendar that night, but if I'm going to talk to
Yeah,
him, then you can go with me. I want
Actually,
to.
that's a good question, because I have town council beach fees discussion, but no time either in my calendar.
And I should
Listed as
know.
a workshop, right?
Probably,
Or is it?
I think it was earlier, like
On the,
5 PM.
I
was
can,
that?
I can get a time.
I checked the Facebook
You
Yeah,
know,
the
post
workshop.
and it didn't say.
5:30.
That's what I thought,
Is that the one on February 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
all it says is on the Facebook post, it goes upcoming council topic beach fees, and then it lists all the
Can you
things.
share that with
Yeah.
us?
Mhm.
And confirm the location too, because
Yes, that would be good.
that would be great, and the more the merrier.
Mhm.
Okay, anything else? And Nicole, actually, you'll let us know after the appointments committee meets that Amanda and Ellen are official.
Sure.
And once Amanda becomes
A
official,
real nurse.
And then do we? then get a second
They actually
alternate?
did send like a list of anybody that applied, and I think they were just waiting for recommendations
Okay.
from Tom.
Okay.
So yes, then there would be
There'd be
another.
another second
Yeah,
alternate.
exactly.
Perfect, right? Okay.
Now, are you gonna be a full member?
Yes,
Okay,
Possibly. We'll see, we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes, cross your fingers.
and
Well, 'cause
Daryl is gonna also be a. new-
Darrell will
Alternate.
become the first
First
alternate,
alternate. Oh,
now the
okay.
second alternate, so he'll be the first alternate.
Mhm.
And then there'll be.
So they're still looking for a second
Second alternate.
alternate, okay.
Cause that's what happened with me when I started with the second alternate and then the first alternate left after like a month.
Yeah.
And so I just
Bumped
kind of was bumped into that role without any real formal process.
Yeah,
That's the way the committees used to be, is
Yeah.
just the line of succession now.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
appointments
yeah.
committee wants.
Well, that appointment
fine.
can do what they want.
they're in charge, not me.
Yeah.
Which is nice for a change.
so can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
I'll second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Do you realize that there's a good football game going on tonight?
Really, who?
Penn State and Notre Dame.
Oh.